Hello, today we are going to review Chapter 7 Study Guide. For numbers 1 and 2, we are to name one pair of adjacent angles and one pair of vertical angles in the figure. Obviously, on these, there are going to be more than one answer. Okay, so number 1, adjacent. I'm going to write down P, Q, and T. It is adjacent with T, Q, and S because they share a common side. When we write that, we can say angle P, Q, T with angle T, Q, and S. So just make sure that the angles you chose to write down have a common side. For vertical, PQR, TQS, they share a common vertex. They are opposites, okay? So angle P, Q, and R, and angle T, Q, and S would be vertical angles, okay? Number 2, again, lots of choices. We only have to list one. ZUV can be adjacent with VUW. They share a common side. And then vertical. YUX and VUW would be vertical. Okay. On the next section, tell whether the angles are adjacent or vertical. Then find the value of x, and you will have to show all your work. Okay, so this angle and this angle, they share a common side, which means that they are adjacent angles. We also know the two angles form a straight line, and a straight line is 180 degrees. So to find x, we need to subtract 34, the angle that we do know, in order to find the missing measure. So x would be 146 degrees. Okay, you can always check by doing 146 plus the 34 and making sure it's that 180 straight line. Okay. On the back, we're under the same set of directions. This angle type, okay, again, this one and this one, they share a common side. So it is adjacent again. Although this time, this is a right vertical angle, so the two measures have to equal 90 degrees. So when I subtract the angle given and show my work, I'm going to get that x is 16 degrees. Number 5, I'm comparing this angle to this angle. That would be a vertical angles. Okay, we know that vertical are equal to each other. So x plus 10 is the same as 59. Okay. When you show me your work, you're just going to solve for x like we normally would to get 49. And then make sure it makes sense. Plug 49 back in here for x. 49 plus 10 is 59, 59, 59. It would make sense. Okay, now obviously that one was easy enough where you could do it without showing your work, but you must show your work. Put them set equal to each other and solve. Okay, for 6 and 7, we're going to tell whether the angles are complementary, supplementary, or neither, then find the value of x. Okay, the two angles, this one plus this one, forms a straight line, 180 degrees, which means we're going to label it as supplementary. And again, this angle plus this angle is 180 degrees. So I have 2x plus 5 plus 75 equals 180 degrees. We're going to combine our like terms and then solve that two-step equation. So x equals 50 degrees. Okay, to double check, we can put 50 back in for x. 100 plus 5 is 105. Is 105 plus 75 180? That straight line? It is. It checks out. Number 2, those is a right angle, which means the sum of the two add up to be 90 degrees, which makes this a complementary angle. 3x minus 6 plus whatever x is needs to equal 90 degrees. Let's combine our like terms and then solve our two-step equation. Okay, to double check, we're saying this is 24, and in here, 3 times 24 minus 6. 24 times 3 is 72, minus 6 is 66, and if 66 plus 24 is 90, which it is, it checks out. It makes sense. Okay, on the back, here's the plan, okay? 8, 9, and 10, this is very difficult to do online and not on a sheet of paper. So I'm going to give you an idea of what yours could have looked like, but I'm going to guesstimate, okay? Because again, using a ruler while you're doing notability doesn't really help when you zoom in and out, okay? You should have a triangle, three-sided figure. The sum, or all three angles, one needs to be 35 degrees, one needs to be 65 degrees, one needs to be 80. Obviously, if you're not in class today, show me these when you get back, and we can check these together. So I'm going to start with the 80 degrees. That is a little bit less than our 90 degree angle, okay? So I'm going to have it come in a little bit more. So one should be 80 degrees. You should have another one that is 35 degrees. And if you connect the two, you'll have one that is 65 degrees. But again, mine is not going to be real accurate. I should say 65. And you'll need to check with me to make sure those are accurate when you come back. Okay, on 9, one of your sides should be 5 centimeters. The other should be 70 centimeters, or 7, not 70, 5 centimeters, 7 centimeters with a 70 degree angle, okay? So again, think of a right triangle. It's got to be less than that. So hopefully you used your protractor to find a 70 degree angle first, and then your line, you'll want to extend one line, make sure it is 7 centimeters, and then the other one should be 5 centimeters, and then you can connect the other line. And make sure you label all these as well. Obtuse means one angle greater than 90 degrees. So one should come out larger than 90 degrees, okay? Scalene means all three sides are different lengths. So you just need to make sure that you've got some different lengths going. Okay. And again, come to class and we can double check those together. Number 11, we're going to find the value of x, then classify the triangle, show all work. Okay. To find x, we know that all three interior angles must equal 180 degrees in a triangle. We're going to combine like terms and solve for x. Okay, so x is 115 degrees. And now we're going to classify the triangle. If this is 115 up here, this would be obtuse because I've got one measure that's greater than 90 degrees. Okay, all three sides are different lengths. No sides are the same, so we're going to also classify it as scalene. Same thing with number 12. I have x plus x. We should know that little box means it's a right angle. It's 90 degrees. All three must add up to 180. So when guys, this one's obvious, but again, show me your work, please. Always. Okay. Okay, so this one is 45, this one is 45, the other one is 90. So x is 45. It is clearly a right triangle. And then if we look at these tick marks, two sides have the same measure, which means it's also identified as isosceles. Okay. And number 13, I have a 60, I have a 60, and I have a x minus 20. They all add up to 180. I'm going to combine like terms. 60, 120. 120 minus 20 is 100. So I have x plus 100 equals 180. Again, another one you could probably figure out without doing all the work, but we're going to show our work like the directions say. So x is 80 degrees. And if you put 80 here, 80 minus 20 would be 60. So that makes sense. This would be equiangular because they're all 60 degrees. I don't spell that right. And all three sides measure the same, so it's also equilateral. Equilateral, equiangular, and x is 80 there. Okay, we are going to classify the quadrilateral. Number 1, you should have classified this as a rhombus, and a kite for number 2. That didn't get copied very nice. Number 3 and 4, write an equation, solve for x, show, all work. These are quadrilaterals, which means the sum of the interior angles must equal 360. So this says x, this says 135. So I have x plus 135 plus 135 plus 45 equals 360. Guys, we know that these opposite angles are going to be the same, but you're showing me your work. When you combine like terms, you're going to get x plus 315 equals 360, and show me the inverse operation. So x is 45 degrees. Okay. Number 4, again, 4-sided figure, all 4 angles must add up to 360. X is here, this box and this box, those are right angles, so 90 plus the 35 plus the unknown needs to be equal to 360. Combine those terms, like terms, so we'll get x plus 215 equals 360, and do the inverse to solve for x. Okay, you can always go back and check and put this number in for x, add all 4 sides, and make sure you get 360. Okay, using a scale of 1 to 20, find the missing dimensions. Show your work. So number 5, the scale is 1 in the drawing is 20 actual. Number 5, the height, the model, we don't know the drawing. We do know the actual is 90 inches. So that's how we would set up our equation, and we can do cross products. 20 times x is 20x, 90 times 1 is 90, and divide by 20. So we will get 4.5 inches is the drawing or the model. Number 6, same scale. 1 inch drawing is 20. Oh, I guess it's switched to feet, but that's okay. 1 is the drawing, 20 is the actual. In the model, 3.75 feet is the drawing. The actual is what we are solving for. Okay, 1 times x is 1x. 20 times 3.75 is 75. And you'll be able to use your calculators on these. We have 75 feet is the actual distance. Okay, same as before, for 7 and 8, come show me these tomorrow if you were not here today to discuss in class, so I can see if you did these correctly. You're drawing a rhombus, a 2 centimeter with 2 centimeter sides, and 2 50-degree angles, okay? You'll want a 50-degree angle, and then each side should be 2 centimeters. So this one should also be 50 up here, and 2 centimeters all the way around. Okay. A parallelogram with a 65-degree angle and a 5 centimeter side. So I would do the top or bottom, make sure it's 5 centimeters, and then make sure it has a 65-degree angle as well. Okay, and again, we can check that in class together. Okay, we've got 2 always, sometimes, or never answers, or fill in the blank. A square is always, sometimes, or never a rectangle. We would say that a square is always considered a rectangle. Okay, opposite sides are parallel, and the interior angles are 90 degrees. A rhombus is sometimes a square, but not always, okay? Okay, and then fair game review. You will have a few of these on your assessment. You will not be able to use a calculator, or, I at least need to see all your work. 6 and 32 times 0.09. Ignore those decimals till the end. Remember that you have to move the decimal 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll get 5,688 10,000ths. And when you divide, the first number always goes on the inside, divided by the second number goes on the outside. Alert, you may not have a decimal on the outside. We have to move it over twice on the outside, which means twice on the inside. So our new problem is 3,230 divided by 8. It goes in 4 times, 0 times, 3 times would be 24. Add that decimal and 0, keep going. Goes in 7 times, which is 56. Keep going. Goes in 5 times evenly. And bring your decimal up. You must be able to show your work. Okay? Alrighty, come see me for